Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I want to make it perfectly clear that right up front, this channel is not about politics. It's about horsemanship, ranching, and Western lifestyle. But when new legislation threatens that way of life, like the proposed sell-off of vast tracts of undisclosed public land, it's something we need to talk about. One reason this issue matters so much is because it's one that unites all of us. No matter your politics or your income, public lands belong to all of us. They're one of the few things in this country that truly are shared by everyone, and the only people who stand to benefit from selling them are real estate developers and the politicians they fund. Let me also say this, I have no illusions that politicians are guided by morals, regardless of party. Every single one of them takes money from individuals, corporations, or special interest groups, and those groups expect something in return. So with that in mind, let's dive in. What is the Big Beautiful Bill? The so-called Big Beautiful Bill is a sweeping piece of legislation that covers a lot of ground. But the part we care most about, and the part that could do the most damage, is the provision that mandates the sale of somewhere between 2.2 and 3.3 million acres of public land. You've probably seen varying numbers in the media. Some sources say 2 to 3 million acres, while others claim up to 450 million acres that could be at risk. Why is there this discrepancy? Because the exact parcels haven't been identified yet. All we know is this: the land must be within 5 miles of a population center, which is a really loosely defined term. Number 2, it must be BLM or national forest, though Mike Lee has kind of made some adjustments there that we'll talk about. And it's earmarked primarily for residential development to drive affordable housing. Now, late last night, Mike Lee tweeted that they would be changing the bill to not include national forest areas, but here's why we can't trust him with this. The stated motivation behind the bill, Mike Lee, like many conservatives, claims to prioritize balancing the budget. According to the bill's backers, the goals are 1, to make more land available for housing, increasing affordability by boosting supply. Number 2 is to generate revenue by selling off land and using that money to help balance the federal budget. And then lastly, to reduce the size of federally managed lands, which many argue are poorly maintained. So we're going to unpack each of these, but first let's talk about who stands to benefit. Who's funding this? Because Mike Lee is spearheading this initiative, it's worth looking at who funds his campaign. You can search the Federal Election Commission or the FEC yourself, but the site opensecrets.org makes it easier to digest. According to Open Secrets, Lee's campaign is heavily funded by interests in real estate and technology, by private equity groups, by energy and natural resource companies, right? So think oil, think gas, that kind of stuff. 2 of his top corporate contributors are Microsoft and Blackstone. Microsoft is aggressively acquiring land for AI data centers and power infrastructure close to population centers where possible. Bill Gates' nuclear energy company Matt is building a massive facility in Kemmer, Wyoming, and he said they'll need at least 100 more of those nationwide to meet AI power demands. Blackstone is a massive private equity firm out of New York that invests heavily in real estate, including residential development. So who stands to gain from the sale of public land? Well, Microsoft and Blackstone, 2 of Mike Lee's top donors. The affordable housing argument, one of the supposed justifications for this bill, is to improve housing affordability. But here's the problem. There is no mandate in the bill requiring the land to be used for affordable housing or first-time home buyers. There's nothing limiting lot sizes or regulating development standards, which means it's entirely possible these lands won't be used to help working families, but could instead be sold in 50 to 100 acre parcels for luxury homes in pristine wilderness areas. The budget argument, another justification, is balancing the federal budget, but let's be honest, America's national debt is $36.2 trillion and climbing. The projected revenue from selling these lands is about $10 billion. That won't even make a dent. The truth is, unless the federal government dramatically changes how it spends money, we'll never balance the budget. And let's not pretend billionaires are going to save us. Elon Musk, often hailed as the free market hero, has been one of the biggest recipients of federal subsidies in history. SpaceX survives on government contracts, and Tesla wouldn't even exist without EV tax incentives. Poorly managed lands, yeah, this is the one point I agree with. Many public lands are mismanaged. The federal government often underfunds their maintenance, but that's not an excuse to sell them off. It's a call to action for us. We need to do our part, stay on marked trails, pick up trash, don't leave dog shit bags on the trail. That one always makes me laugh. Respect the land. Public land belongs to everyone. And if we want it to stay pristine, we all have to take care of it. The bottom line, in addition to infrastructure and national security, public lands are one of the few good things the federal government actually provides. They're free to access, rich or poor, you get to enjoy them. And once we start selling them off, we're on a slippery slope. Even if we sold all public land, it wouldn't fix our national debt. So I'm calling on all of you, conservative, progressive, or somewhere in between, let's unite on this. Call all of your senators, email them, tell them we do not support the sale of public lands, any public lands, not 1 acre. I've already contacted Mike Lee to say we don't approve of this, and I will keep doing it because if we don't speak up now, future generations will pay for these short-sighted decisions. Thank you so much for sticking around. We really appreciate all the support on the channel. We really hope we can fight this public lands thing because this is, again, something that unites us all. It's really important that we do not allow 1 acre of public land to be sold by the federal government. Thanks. Adios.